It's a cull, isn't it? That's what I'm calling it this week, a cull. Some tough choices have to be made, and this might be one of them. I'm being brave, I hope, or stupid, I don't know. Here's a thing of beauty. I mean, if you like your guitars a little bit battered and used, but this was my first love. It's quite striking, isn't it? Look, hang tags. It's amazing, isn't it? It's going to be very difficult to let this go. However, I might. Yeah, said we're going to do it. Let's do it. Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. It's part two, week two of the new year, part two of my complete collection. I'm going through every one of my guitars, my entire collection, and deciding which ones I'm going to sell. It's my New Year's resolution. Yeah, it's true. So here we are. I've got another 17 guitars, I think it is, we're going to have a look at today. We'll have a quick look at them, story if there's any, maybe hear them, and then try and, well, I'll give you my current thinking, i.e. when I was filming them. What I'm going to do, whether I think I'm going to keep them or whether I'm going to list them. And I'm listing, like last week, okay, if you saw last week, I ended up listing 9 guitars of that lot on the Reverb, link in the description box if you can't find it. My Reverb shop. I listed 9 guitars after, or as to coincide with last week's film. This week, well, it's a week later. I'm lying actually because it's Tuesday when I'm filming this, so it's just a few days later. I can't count, sorry. And there's only 3 of those left, so I've sold 6 already. So they're going. So it's a bit sad in many ways because I've got a few empty wall hangers. But you know, it's tough love. It's a cull, isn't it? That's what I'm calling it this week, a cull. I'm being brave, I hope, or stupid, I don't know. But I know from the comments that I got from you lot last week, a lot of you feel, you know, you're in the same position. You've got all these things and you don't play them. And a lot of people agree with my current thinking, which is if I'm not playing something, it really deserves to go to somebody that will, rather than just gather dust. And I know that some of those guitars that have gone, they're gone with DHL man's just been, they've gone off. And if they hadn't, in a year's time, 2 years' time, we'd be in the same position. They'd still be there, unlikely to have had any love. And these things need to be played in anger, as I said last week. So this week, join me. Let's go through some more of my collection, many of what you've never seen, some of which you have. Let's go through them all and have a little chat about them and discuss whether I'm going to keep them or not, or whether they're going to be listed on Reverb. And you could buy them if you want. So, you know the score. There'll be timestamps in the description box. There will be beverages required to get through this. It's going to be about 40 minutes. So go and put the kettle on, get some nibbles, come back and join me. Let's see what we've got to deal with this week. Yeah, it's hard. But let's get stuck in. Here's a lovely guitar. It's the Squier 60s, FSR I think it was, 60s Jaguar. It's all the jag you never need, really. It's just a stunning looking guitar. It's just a shame they're so quirky. It doesn't doesn't get played, unfortunately, this, and I'm very tempted just to keep it though, just to look at it, because I think it looks beautiful. It's a real work of art. Yeah, I'm jury's out on that. Yeah. It's, yeah, difficult, isn't it? Here's a lovely SG standard with P90s. Bought this new back in 2016 when I'd got my band together, and we started to do a couple of gigs, and I thought I'd want to get into an SG live, so I bought this. And it wasn't the entry back into SGs, that's another one, the SGJ, that I bought before this. But this was one that started my passion for SG. It rekindled my passion, I think, for SGs. And of course, with P90s, it really cuts through this. You can see this has been played, and you know, it's got a nice net, and I quite often do put this in my home rotation of guitars. Always got about half a dozen guitars at home, rotate them, and this does get taken home and played. And when I do play it, I remember how good it is, and I always think, oh, this could be just my SG if I wanted it to be. If I only had one, this could easily fulfill that that position. It's never going to happen. Okay, I know this is about selling guitars, but I'm not going to sell all my SG. I'm going to hang on to several, including this one. I'm keeping it. Here's something that I'm very, very fond of. Oh, it's so light. It's the Epiphone Crestwood Custom, isn't it? Original Epiphone reissue from a couple of years, I think I've had this now. And it's, sadly, it hasn't really been played very much, but it has been looking very pretty on the wall. Where it will remain, I'm not gonna sell this one. I think I've decided maybe that the Wilshire's gonna go, but not this. I think it's such an appealing guitar, and it plays great. And I will play it. I will find time, I think, to play it, because it's with these little mini humbuckers. It's got quite a nice distinctive sound as well. We'll try and dig out a clip here so we can hear it. But it's yeah, it's a fantastic guitar, and you know, make the most of these, because well, this wasn't expensive when I bought it at all, and no doubt it is now, a couple of years down the line. So yeah, I'll keep this one, I think. In many ways, my dream guitar. SG Junior from the 60s, 1969, this example. I'd say it's a player's guitar. But, you know, these things, they've been played. Most of them have. I don't know, very often, you don't very often see a pristine SG Junior, because people do play them, because they're such wonderful guitars. And this is no different. It's got checking all over it. I don't know how well the cameras will pick that up. This has got a Gibson. It's a proper Gibson Lightning bar, repro one. It's not, so it's not the original. It hasn't got the original bridge with it. It came with a badass on it, I think. I got this in One Joke Guitars in Denmark Street on a nice deal. I put yeah, I had to change the tuners. I think I've got the original tuners, but they were knackered. So I've changed the tuners. And I believe it's the original pickup. And as you can see, it's got lots of damage on the pick guard. Scratch plate. I'm going to keep doing that. Original knobs by the looks of it. I've black lit it. It's got kind of, I mean, it's got dings. It's got maybe a little touch up there. So I don't know what that's about. There's no obvious cracks or anything at all. There's no obvious repairs. But I think it's, I don't know. It's just been used, isn't it, for a long time. Since 1969. I'd dearly love to keep this, but some tough choices have to be made, and this is likely to be one of them. I've just noticed how massive these frets are, so I'd say it's almost certainly had a refret. Anyway, I'm trying to avoid the subject. Some tough choices have to be made, and this might be one of them. If I can get enough for it, it will have appreciated in value in my ownership, and quite possibly deserves to go to somebody else who will see it through to the next phase. Because these are going to go up in value. Although this is not, I don't think you could consider this in good condition. It's as good as many that you see, if not better. And I've got my 62, which is, although it is quite different, they are quite different. I mean, there is definitely a case to hang on to this. I might regret if I sell this. I might sit on that decision for a little while. Here's a thing of beauty. I mean, if you like your guitars a little bit battered and used, this is it, isn't it? It's a crafted in Japan, Jazzmaster, 96, I think. It's and I couldn't walk past this. It's one of those things you see in a shop and you go, oh blimey, the price was right. I couldn't walk past it. It's clearly been very, very heavily gigged. I put that, I can't remember what they're called now, sorry. Buzz stop, I know what that's called, and that's one of them things that I can't remember what they're called at the moment. And it's got a quarter pounder for Jazzmaster pickups on it. And I think the wiring's still dodgy and I've got to fix it. No, I don't use it, and it's got something rattling inside it as well. I don't use it. I might sell it. I might see how much they're worth now and sell it if it's made a little bit of cash on this. Mastery. Mastery bridge, that's what it is. Mastery. They're great. They're really expensive though. Well, there you go. That's my Jazzmaster. Now, let's have a look at my small but perfectly formed collection of signature guitars. Starting with this one, a Wayne Kramer from the MC5, proto-punk band from the 1960s, hugely influential. If you've not heard of the MC5, shame on you. Go check them out. This is his signature Strat. It's quite striking, isn't it? It's a Mexican Strat, and it's a Mexican road-worn, which I imagine, well, road-worn relict, signature relict. It's remarkable, really, for a Mexican jobby. It done really well. I think you probably have to be where I am to fully appreciate it, but it's got checking all over the body there, and you know, shading. I bought this used, quite well used actually, as it turns out, because when I reviewed this, I think we discovered that it had been rewired. Maybe even the original pickups had been robbed out of it, but it's a bit of a mess under there. So I think I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm you know, I change my mind on a daily basis, but I think, you know, I've had this for a few years now and it's been hanging on the wall looking lovely, but, you know, maybe time for this one to go to a new owner. They're very rare, very, very rare. So I might get a few quid for this. Not, you know, it's not a hugely expensive guitar. But if I do sell it, I'll fix the wiring first, make it look decent. There you go. Wayne Kramer. Kick out the jams, motherfuckers. This is my Wilko Johnson signature Telecaster, complete with actual Wilko Johnson signature, which has in fact been properly lacquered over, so fully protected, so that won't rub off. I don't think this one's going anywhere anyway. I'm not going to sell this because I love it. It's apart from anything, it's a really, really nice Telecaster to play. And I actually have used this on stage. Back in the days when I played with a band, I really miss those times because that's what all these guitars are for. This one's actually proved its worth. If I ever get my band back together, I'll use this again. And will probably be one of just a couple of Telecasters that I'll hang on to. Maybe 3 or 4. I don't know, but I'm going to keep this one, so don't get your hopes up. It's got a little chip on there already, proves it's been used. Again, it's a Mexican Telecaster. 2013 they made this. It's bloody lovely. Keeping. And then we get into the Joe Strummer section. Most of my signatures are, as we'll find out now, Joe Strummers. And this, of course, was what year was that? 2022, so very recent. Again, Mexican Fender, very worn, very, aged, beaten up, like Joe's original. I love this guitar. I think it's great. I think it looks very authentic. I've also got the stickers for this. It didn't come with the stickers, but I managed to get some aged stickers to go with it. Great guitar. Again, plays brilliantly. Really nice guitar to just play. Looks the part. Some people think that the Rattle-can's a little bit over the top. Well, they think that from the comments section. You know, they're not here. They can't see it. If you can see it and feel it, you can feel the ridges. And the point is that Strummer, I think it was Bernie, their manager, insisted that his guitar looked too nice. So they took it to a car body shop where they painted it really badly, basically with grey primer and car paint, you know, layered it on and then probably just put a DA on it and sanded bits off. And you can easily imagine it looking like this. This probably just needs to be played live for a couple of years, and it will really look the bollocks. Unfortunately, as I said, I'm not playing live at the moment, so I'm not really in a position to do that. I might get rid of this one. I haven't decided, but it's a lovely thing, and if I do, I'll have enjoyed it for, you know, a good time. I've played it. I've taken it home and played it quite a lot. This actually, super cool guitar. And here's the other one, the other Joe Strummer signature. This, of course, is the amateur-built version, which you may recall if you've seen the films, or mainly on the TV channel, actually, because this hasn't been on YouTube. But it's actually, it's going to be on YouTube this week. I'm filming this bit just before Christmas, and this is going on. This is going to be filmed this week. So, yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you will be familiar with this guitar. I made it in an 8-part series on the TV channel. If you missed that, there's the address. Go and watch it now. Go and watch it. From scratch, I bought all the parts and I put it together for a laugh, because Fender Custom Shop was selling their version of this, which they called the master-built version, with an original price tag of, I think it was 20 grand originally, and I think they didn't sell them. Well, they might have sold some, but they didn't sell them all. So, you know, they were discounting them. I think the last time we saw it was selling it for about 10 grand. So I made my own anyway for a lot less. I think if you watch the series, at the end I added up all the costs. It was about 800 quid. With a custom-made body. You know, I had this body made, and it's, as you can see, it's great. I don't think I'm going to be selling this. I don't think this one's going anywhere. And here's something a little bit different. It's an acoustic. Yeah, but it's a Joe Strummer signature acoustic, so it's all right. There you go, yeah, it's what they call the campfire acoustic. I picked this up just recently. It was a beautiful, cheap thing, fun. And it's little, it's quite diddy. It's great fun. I won't be selling this. Here's another Telecaster. It's not an official Strummer replica, it's my DIY homemade Strummer replica with some of these age stickers. So this is actually a Baja tele, the 50s Baja Mexican tele, or was, because it's had some modifications, i.e. I stripped all the thick poly, I stripped it off the body, which took bloody ages. Don't ever attempt that. It's a nightmare. And you end up with all these chisel marks that you can't really avoid because you're trying. And then I thought, oh, I'll get some rattle-can paint and paint it various colours. Try and do a DIY Strummer, really, without actually. I didn't actually try and make it look like the one that we saw just now. I just thought it's the idea, with some primer showing through, and it looks a bit of a mess or very cool, depending which way you look at it, really. or who you are looking at it. And I put a P90 in there, and that's a Lola P90. And this is a Lola bridge pickup. So it does sound pretty good. It does need a little bit of tweaking on the wiring, I think, because it's a little bit bright, I think, if I remember correctly. But I haven't had time to do anything with it. And subsequently, I've obviously got myself the proper Joe Strummer signature. So I might not. Do you know what I'm thinking with this? Because I'll be honest with you, I've made a bit of a mess of the route. I think I'm going to get another body for this and put it back together as a Baja, because they're actually really good and quite sought after now. So I don't know, it's got a fabulous neck on this, really nice V-shaped neck. So it does actually deserve to go on a guitar that's going to be used maybe a little bit more. I don't know, jury's out on this one. I think this is an ongoing project. This is a cool guitar. This is the Epiphone Billie Joe Les Paul Jr. Simple, beautiful colour. Billie Joe, there's your signature. Single P90. Doesn't get played. I'm inclined to think though that I might hang on to this. Yeah. It's way better than what it's worth, if that makes any sense. It's got a hard case with this as well, actually. So I think I might keep this. Another Epiphone, inspired by Epiphone, Casino. I like this. I like the colour. This is the worn version. So it was slightly cheaper than the standard version, but I prefer it. I love this finish. And they do this in a denim blue and a black, I think. But I love this guitar. I've had it a while. I haven't had a lot of chance to play it. Every now and then I try and sneak it into a film, as you might have noticed. But I'm going to hang on to it. I'm definitely going to hang on to it, because I love it. So you're not having this one. Different story with this one, I think, though. Again, it's a really nice, inspired by Gibson ES335. This one plays good, sounds good as it is, stock. The wiring is fixed now. I think, well, actually I was thinking about it, because I just did the Christmas end of year roundup where at dodgy wiring, and it wasn't actually fixed or sent back. This, all that happened was I think I took the pickup out to start exploring it, and I think it probably just pulled the wires in a different direction and probably stopped them shorting or something. I don't know. But what then I do realise, I lent this to my mate Phil, and he took this to Dubai for a gig with his Oasis tribute band, and did a big old gig with it. And apparently it was fine. He brought it back with sweat all over. It was covered in sweat. You could see it'd be used. He cleaned it for me now. But I don't play 335s, so I should probably give this to Phil or something, or sell it or something, because it won't get played. I just don't think 335s are my thing, and I know that in the future I'll find an excuse to have to buy another one. But I'm happy with that. I should pass this one on. Looks nice, doesn't it? Yeah. I think this will be listed. This is a zenta telecaster. It's like a toy, isn't it? So I bought this way back when I started this channel. It was a bit of fun because I learned on one of this model, not this actual guitar, but this model was the second guitar that I ever owned when I was about 14 years old. I had one of these because they were all the rage back then. So I bought this a little while back to see what it's like, and I compared it with a Bullet Telecaster to see how much difference how much progress there'd been cheap guitars? It's quite a lot, is the answer. The main thing being that they didn't have intonation back in, I think this is probably a late 60s guitar, but this is not intonatable. So if you're gonna get in one of these, you learn to play slide. But it made me just realise the reason I got this was because at that time I'd seen Status Quo live. I'd been taken. My brother-in-law took me to see Status Quo when I was about 14, probably, at the Kersal in Southend, and it blew my mind. And I wanted a Telecaster, and this was the closest thing I could get. I don't know what, I might sell this, I don't know, but I'll show you what I wanted. It was this. I think this has always been my dream guitar, and I finally got this one a few years back. I managed to trade a bunch of affordable guitars for this when it turned up in a local shop. And it's actually 73, this. And of course, you know, when you think back, you think, you know, what your influences were. It was the Quo, and the Tele was the guitar that I lusted after as a kid. I don't know why I then went to SGs, but this was my first love. I'm so delighted that I got this one, and this is a really good example. And I love this guitar. You've seen me play it, I think. This is tuned to open G because I've just been learning down, funnily enough. I'm not going to play it now because I haven't got time, but yeah, this, I mean, this is absolutely not going anywhere. Here's my hodad. It's another danelectro. Quirky, distinctive, hardballed, and sticky tape guitar. It's a lovely little thing. It's got dual lipsticks. And it's got push pulls. It wasn't that one, it was that one. It's a lovely, quirky little guitar, this. Great guitar. This is my bass, my only bass. You've got to have one, haven't you? And I picked this up a while ago. Well, it was affordable and I needed one. So, you know, it's a Fender Mustang and they're great little things. Short scale, which is perfect for someone that can't play bass. And as I said, highly affordable and highly capable of doing anything you want it to do. So this is, you know, the bass. And yeah. Ciao, Marco. This is a beast. This is the first guitar that I got when I started playing again, because I played guitar till I was about 25 years old and then stopped completely and thought I was going to be grown up for a while until I was my 40th birthday, and then this was a present from my missus, who is also still with me for some reason. Yeah, it's a 1978 Telecaster Custom, as you can see. The Keith one, isn't it? And it's £10. It really is. It's a fabulous guitar, obviously, because it's a 1970. They call this a 72 Custom. This model. It's an original 72 Custom from 1978, with all the hang tags in the case and everything. And a proper story. Again, we went up to Denmark Street shopping, and I said, I want a 1970s Telecaster for my birthday. She said, what can I buy you that's like really nice? I said, I want a 70s Telecaster. And I wasn't even playing guitar at the time. I had this, that would be nice. And this was hanging on the wall in a shop just around the corner from Denmark Street in Charing Cross Road, which is gone now. But hang on, going to dig out the label, see what it was called. Here's the, here's the stuff. I love this because it had, look, hang tags, string replacement. So it's got the original. It's amazing, isn't it? Love this stuff. Thing with the serial number on it. Owner's manual. West End Music, 106 Charing Cross Road. There you go. I won't tell you the date. Yeah, that was cheap then. It's going to be very difficult to let this go. However, I might, because my neighbour has been after it for some time, and if he's serious, I might, I might work something out with him. We'll see. There you go. I was just watching that back, and it's a bit it's a bit sad, to be honest with you, because some of those I'd kind of made the decision that I was gonna sell them, and then I'm just looking at it back, and I'm thinking, really? You sure? No is the answer. My intention. I made a note of the ones that my intention is to list, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only about 6 of those that I've said I'm definitely going to list. Whether or not I will have done by now, find out. Links in the description box. A couple of those actually need fixing. So I'll let you into a secret. I've listed, I've said I'll list the 69 SG Junior. The Jazzmaster, the Wayne Kramer Strat, which needs fixing before I do list it. So that won't be live. It might be when I'm filming this Tuesday. I doubt if I'll have fixed that by the weekend. The Joe Strummer Telecaster, the proper one, not the one that I built. The ES335, I'm definitely listing that. I've got no attachment to an Epiphone ES335. The 72 Custom, my mate next door I think is going to have that, so that won't be listed. So yeah, not so many, but there's 3 left from last week as well. As of now, and this changes every hour, as of now, the Polara is still for sale. And I can't remember already. Oh, what else? I've forgotten already. Oh yeah, the SG, the Custom Shop SG, the 64. Nice guitar. That's still for sale at the moment. And the other one, hang on, I've got to have a look. The Flying V, yeah. I'd say it's old age, but it's not. I'm just a bit stupid. So they were still for sale when I filmed this, which is Tuesday. You won't see this till Thursday night if you're on the TV channel, Friday on YouTube. So I don't know if they'll still be there. Have a look. Links in the description box. A few people had a bit of difficulty with that last week. Link to my Reverb shop is in the description box. Have a look. Anything that's been listed that is still for sale and unsold will be on there. There may be things like the Wayne Kramer Strat, or maybe the Jazzmaster that need a little bit of fettling before I list them, because I want to make sure these things work. Like the Tokai Les Paul Gold Top that I listed last week. I said the switch was wonky, it needed fixing. I fixed it. It's gone. It's gone to a new owner today. So yeah, I'm a man of my word. But if you're interested in any of my guitars, do check out the films of them so you know what you're letting yourself in for, because a lot of them have been messed with. Like this is coming up in next week's film. What are these? Fat Cat P90, P90s, yeah, Fat Cat P90s in a Sonic Bullet Mustang, yeah, Bullet Mustang. This is in next week's episode. I don't know if I'm going to sell it. Come back and join me next week and find out. Same time, same place. Part 3 of my complete collection we'll be looking at about another 15 to 20 guitars or something, and many of those will be for sale. Okay, so yeah, said we're going to do it. Let's do it. See you next week, I hope. Cheers for now. Ta-da.